In the previous video, we had an overview on how a drop-down list works end-to-end, and we also went through the steps to implement the status drop-down list. It was explained how status data from database is retrieved by the backend service and sent to the frontend as JSON, which is converted into object array that will be used to populate the status drop-down list. The scope of this course is Angular, hence we will not focus on the implementation of backend service and the database. We are going to define a TypeScript class for status. Based on the status class, objects will be created and included in an array with hard-coded status data, and we are not going to get this data from backend service and database. In this video, we will implement the first step to define the status data in the component. Let me go to Visual Studio Code. I have already defined the status class and status objects in a new file named status.ts. This file is created in src/app folder. Let me walk through the code in status.ts. The status class is defined with constructor having parameters for ID and name. The data type for ID is number and the data type for name is string. After the definition of the class, I have included the definition of status array constant. The name of the constant is statuses. The data type is status array. Here, status refers to the class defined above. Each item in the array is a status object having the respective ID and name. We can see status data defined with ID and name for student, employee, and entrepreneur. Notice both status class and status array is prefixed with export. This makes it possible to use them in other TypeScript classes. Now that we have defined the status class and object, we will look into user.ts. We are using user class object to hold the name and email entered by the user in the sign-up form. Now, additionally, we need to capture the status selected by the user in the sign-up form, hence including status property with data type as status class as third parameter of the constructor. When typing status class, I have selected it from the drop-down, which automatically includes the import from status.ts. After inclusion of this new property in user class, we can see a compilation error in app.component.ts. In the user class constructor, we just now included the status as third parameter, which is not yet included in the constructor call in app.component.ts, hence it is resulting in compilation error. For including the third parameter, I am including a comma after the second parameter, then typing new followed by status. When partially typing status, I am selecting it from the drop-down so that it is automatically imported. As status class constructor parameters, I am passing 0 and empty string. Initially, when the page is shown, there will not be any status selected in the drop-down list. For this reason, I am defining the status object with some initial values. Now we can see that the compilation error is no more present. The next step is to define a property named statuses. This will be of type status array. This property will be assigned with statuses constant that was defined in status.ts. I am including the statuses constant by partially typing it and selecting it from the drop-down so that it gets automatically imported. By including this line, we are getting the statuses constant from status.ts and assigning it to the component property so that this property can be used in the HTML template to display the options in status drop-down list. I am saving all the files. With this, we are completing the first step that defines the data. Let me summarize the steps that were demonstrated in this video. Create a new file named status.ts in src/app folder. In this file, include the status class definition and the status object array. In user.ts, include user constructor with status property. Don't forget to import the status class. In app.component.ts, include the status in the constructor. Then in the next line, include the statuses property that points to the statuses constant. Ensure that status and statuses are imported from status.ts. In the next video, we will implement the second step, which is to display the status drop-down list in the HTML template.